Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. It is strange, or maybe funny, to watch people who have been working on creating a certain kind of situation now blaming the other side of creating the situation. And here we have an instance where we have a guy who's a US senator. So that's one of the 100 elected to be senators in the United States of America. And this guy's name is Lindsey Graham, a senator of South Carolina, if I remember correctly. I think he was elected by about 2 million people or so. Nevertheless, he's a senator. And this person, if you remember, maybe you don't remember, but I will let you remember it right now. I will refresh your memory. Here's this guy who said that someone needs to take Putin out. This is from Newsweek, from the 8th of May 2022. Let's take out Putin. Graham doubles down on Ukraine war off ramp. So this is an article coming from Newsweek. So this was in May, the first time this stupid guy said this. And March, 4th of March, from the Hill, Graham calls for somebody in Russia to take Putin out. That means someone should assassinate Putin. This is a US respected senator. Now, if you instigate assassination or killing a president in another country, what are you? You identify as? So this is the guy who realizes that the gig is up. That means he calls, if the Chinese, he says that if the Chinese are providing Russia with little help, then they're stupider than dirt. So let me show you this little dumber than dirt. So this is this guy's statement. Remember, he's a senator, so he's very sophisticated. This is from today, right here from the Hill. All right, and it's from today, the 19th of February 2023, my bad. Graham on potential Chinese little assistance to Russia, and I'm quoting this guy. If you jump on the Putin train now, you're dumber than dirt. And then we have another article here. I think it's important, and it's right here. This comes from Daily Beast, doesn't really matter, but this is the title. Little Chinese gift to Putin could spark new Cold War with US. Well, the thing is that these guys are not telling us is the fact that a Cold War has been always in. It never ended, at least from one side. The problem is these guys, which is the United States of America, let's call it as it is, they now call the other guys as being the initiators of this Cold War. Evidence, look from 1991, when Soviet Union disappeared. What was US's foreign policy? Friendship with Russia? Was it? It just went and punched whomever they wanted in the teeth. Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, Yugoslavia, whomever they wanted. They did whatever they wanted. That's the Pax Americana. You know, it used to be Pax Romana. When the Romans kicked everybody in the teeth around, it was peace under their jurisdiction. They were doing whatever they wanted. So the Pax Americana turned into attacking small countries, and now we have what we have over there with Russia. Remember when Russia wanted to join NATO? You remember that? Do you know that? It was a conversation between Vladimir Putin and then Bill Clinton. Do you remember what Bill Clinton said? Russia is too strong. Doesn't have to. That was his answer. Okay. Russia was weak as hell then. It was stronger later. Now we have a new Cold War. Now let's look a little bit at the relationship between China and Russia. When did they again start being like blood brothers? Not in the 50s anymore. Remember? It was the fallout between Stalin and what's his name, Mao Zedong. Even though Mao Zedong came at what? When Stalin was 70, I think he came and visited, but then went down. And they re-picked up the whole thing now with Putin. They had joint military exercises. They had economic connections, and relationship got stronger. Under the nose of these guys that looked at Russia and China as two little idiots over there playing in the sandbox and unimportant. They're too small. And now they say if these guys are getting together, that's dumb. That's been happening for at least 15 years. Where were you? And what are you going to do about it? Nothing. What are you going to do about it? The problem is, if Russia does not collapse, you're going to have a big problem. Because the point is, Russia must collapse. After Russia collapses, next is going to be China. If China did not learn the Russian lesson. That's what it is with Russia. But the problem is, these guys in the United States of America, being so busy making sure that their elections, they get elected, and they have little Russia collusion, all kind of little thing, internal stupidities, they miss the big picture. The big picture was those guys were getting together against you. Why? Because you were so inclusive. The world is run like this. United States and has its own interests, and it has vassal states, bottom feeders, and they get together, gang on someone, do what the United States tell them to do, and then they get out. And then the United States points to another target, they get together, that's called NATO. And they go over there, take care of that one, and then get out. Or stay over there, they arrange things the way they want. Look how much freedom and democracy they brought to Iraq. Wasn't that one of the reasons why the coalition got into Iraq? Bringing freedom at Iraq? Wasn't that called the Iraqi Freedom or something, name of the stupid campaign? Everybody was, yeah man, we beat Iraq. Iraq had a population of 20 million people. Are you crazy? It's like fighting with a toddler, but they all, yeah, Schwarzkopf, yes, the able general, yeah, I'm a veteran of what? Fighting with a toddler? Keep that down. That's what I would say. If you would have fought with, let's say, China or Russia directly, which again you avoid, you fight with proxies, and you don't fight alone. Because the United States was not United States and Ukraine. Got all the other weasels together to be over there. Ukraine is just a place where this big fight against those guys occurs right now. The first attempt was in Georgia. But in Georgia, it was a little bit, I think, too early. It was, people were not together at that point. Now they are. So, yes, that's a Cold War was from the very beginning. It never ended, actually. Never ended. And remember, it's this kind of thing. Graham just wakes up now and said, well, if you pick Russia, you're dumber than dirt. You know you're afraid of that. You know that you're afraid of that. I mean, don't tell me you don't care if Russia and China, let's say, they are already in an alliance. They already stated they're more than an alliance. I mean, just playing like, oh, we don't care. Oh, you care. You care. Because there's going to be your counter. That with BRICS, that with Shanghai Cooperation Organization, all those guys form a different worldview, a different world order. They are sick of your world order. That didn't work out. You are the guy who are drunk with a shotgun in a parking lot, and whomever says something, you just boom, boom. That's how was the Pax Americana. You know, they're like, oh, if you pick Russia, you're dumber than dirt. Pick you? To do what? To be a vassal state? And if you get drunk a little bit more tonight, you're going to punch me in the face or something? You see? The problem is, how should I put it? Stupidity with arrogance. That's what it is. First, you let these guys get together because you're too tough. These guys get strong. You cannot kick their ass At least Russia. You don't kick Russia's ass, and I don't foresee that happening. China and is going to join Russia. It's already there joined. It's not that they're on, right there. I'm going to send you weapons right now. They are. You create more problems with your stupid Taiwan and with South Korea and Japan. You create more problems over there to China. You, with the balloons, get it even higher than that. And then you want China to stay with you? They don't like this kind of I'm your slave. They don't understand that. But it's hard for them to understand because that's the way, my way or highway. That's what it is. So now they're surprised it's going to be a Cold War. It is already. Created by whom? By a weak China, then by a weak Russia, then, and a master that remained after 1991. Remember, the sole master of this planet, economically and militarily, was United States of America. Without all its, now I think there's like 750 bases and locations where they have military personnel and infrastructure. And they talk about Russia being the, how do you call it, the imperialistic country. Really? All right, well, if you say so. So play this dumb game instead of, but you can discuss. An empire, a boss, cannot show weakness. So in this case, United States cannot show weakness that's going to negotiate with these guys, because negotiations with these guys will mean equal footing. And that's exactly what Putin asked, and Russia. We want to be treated as an equal. We don't want to be your vassal state. Well, that's a no. That can happen. And there you have it. You have these guys, frustrated as they are, with many other countries, tens of countries on this planet, frustrated and punched in the face in the past 30 years, or even more if you look at South America and Africa, I don't have to tell you, and these guys are going to jump on these guys' club. So it's already there. And you keep talking about your bullshit here in your countries with diversity, inclusion, and equity, and you are focused on that, and make sure that this group is discriminated and that group is like that. And then when that group over there is going to react, then what? You're going to have a big problem. And look what's going on in this country. It's not united whatsoever. Well, push stupid ideologies and people will react. That's an internal thing. I think this is the situation in the United States is just like it's in turmoil. That's how I see it. If these guys push the separation of groups, they create too much hatred between these groups. Anyway, I don't think that the Cold War ever stopped. I think it was more emphasized, or how should I put it? It was that study, I can't remember, that paper by the neocons put together a new American century or something like this. Remember that one? And it was the idea that in the Middle East they're going to take one after another, all of those guys. We're going to settle score with everybody, and they will be the sole winners of the whole thing. It didn't work that way, but it's the same plan of a person or an entity that thinks that is infallible, makes no mistakes, is the force of good, and everybody else should obey and follow because we are the truth. And we really believe that we are the truth. Well, it's not going to work that way. Look back in history. You have kings, emperors, and others, who thought that they have absolute power. And what happened with those? Ended up with guillotined and, hanged and so on. People are not so easy to, you can fool people sometimes, but you can fool people, all the time, It's just annoying when you see these guys like Lindsey Graham. He comes over there and says, hey, you're stupid than dirt if you join. Who created the situation? Who created? Putin created a situation? I mean, a little bit of self-reflection. It's just, and he's going to continue to be like that. And he 2 times said, oh, let's take Putin out. There's a senator. How do you call that one? Remember, if it would be like another, let's say, leader saying about that, about Biden, that. How would that person be considered? Immediately, like terrorist, right there. Pick up a dictionary and find the term. and see where Mr. Graham falls into. He's a senator elected by Americans. Americans, because they know better. I've been told here when I came here by some American friends that I'm going to happen here because Americans are more sophisticated than that. Really? They voted for Bush and for Obama twice. And then they got what? Obama. And now they got this guy who's sometimes he's conscious. Sophisticated. Maybe there are some of them, but the idea that we are more sophisticated means we're better. There you have it. People, friends, Americans, my fellows, not immigrants or something. They know better. But it's no, we're more sophisticated. You don't know what you're talking about. Really? Look where is the military-industrial complex. Look who's dictated around here. The politicians, you think? Gee, I mean, please, the intelligence community. What the intelligence community does, whatever they would like them to do with these politicians, elected officials. What do they have? What do they have? A mouth? What orders are they going to give to whom? No, it's in big trouble, and unfortunately, this guy, this is a senator, is still delusional. Delusional, thinking that it's a Cold War. Yeah, and you're responsible, I would say. But that's my assessment on this one. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.